It's your boy Jay Steph, man. We back at it with another YouTube UK, not even UK. I don't know where this is at. All right, but we're here to learn. It's a documentary. You're here to learn about the G brothers. All right, this notorious crime family, and I'm pretty sure they're about to tell us where this crime family is at. But I ain't never heard of the G brothers, so I'm finna, we finna learn today. All right, finna learn about this crazy story. Finna learn about what's going on. Shout out to narcotics underworld. Okay. Be sure to tap them links down below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, bro. Without further ado, y'all want to watch with me, so I'm here to watch it with you. Let's get it.
They tried to escape the law's reach for a long time, but finally came within its grasp. Narcotics, violence, and ghetto. These three words describe the Grizzale estate in the late 1990s and early 2000s. A secluded Everton area was supposed to be suburban heaven, but turned into Hell's Kitchen for its locals. All thanks to the five brothers whose ambitions knew no boundaries. They desecrated the whole estate to lay their empire of narcotics peddled by violence and greed. But soon, their life caught up with them, and one by one they started facing the long arm of the law. But the story hasn't ended yet. It continues with every brother taking a different path after their encounter with the law. This is the story of the G brothers, who ruled the whole estate through meting out violence and intimidation. Their activities became so notorious that a special police unit was formed to tackle their threat.
Wow.
Without further ado, let's dive into this tale of cunning, bad choices, and then the path to redemption for some. Suburb to ghetto. Was peace the first casualty of the G brothers' reign on Grizzale estate? How does a troubled childhood, riddled with domestic abuse, coupled with a poor educational experience and a lack of employable skills, set the stage for the rise of a formidable gang in our midst?
Oh, shit.
In the case of the G, even these five names
Where was I at? My fault.
lawless enclave, exempt. Grizzale became infamous as Crack Central, attracting users and suppliers from afar for clandestine transactions. Soon, the estate evolved into a lawless enclave, exempt from the reach of authorities, as locals cowered in fear, unwilling to speak out. Darren and Daniel emerged as the kingpins of the narcotics trade, resorting to extreme violence and intimidation to maintain their grip over North Liverpool's alleyways and backstreets. With their criminal enterprise expanding, the G brothers began recruiting others to execute their operations, primarily individuals they had grown up with, earning their trust. However, their recruitment efforts extended far beyond their immediate circle, as they sought loyalty and security reminiscent of established criminal syndicates. Notably, the security firms operating within Grizzale estate were predominantly managed by criminals, reflecting the pervasive influence of the G brothers. Yet, the most disturbing revelation lies in their exploitation of children. The group incentivized youngsters to participate in criminal activities by offering substantial financial rewards, effectively luring them away from their education. Those deemed unfit for direct involvement were tasked with surveillance duties, monitoring the movements of local law enforcement and rival gangs while the illegal deals took place. The extent of their network was staggering, with parents brazenly conducting narcotic deals in the presence of their own children. This astonishing phenomenon exhibits the normalization of narcotics within the community.
That shit off.
The pervasive influence of narcotics had reached such depths that parental concern was overshadowed by the allure of financial gain, painting a harrowing picture of the estate's descent into lawlessness. Special yet controversial. How did the police unit perform? How did the law respond to this chaos? The need for action was undeniable, and action was taken. The scale of their operations prompted the creation of a specialized unit tasked with wresting control of the estate back from the grip of criminals. A former officer from this unit revealed that the G's had effectively established a ghetto within the Grizzale estate, reaping profits of approximately £20,000 per week from their illicit activities. Their enterprise operated tirelessly, utilizing disposable phones to manage orders and dispatching riders on mountain bikes for delivery. Consider the plight of the locals longing for a crime-free existence, forced to endure life as outsiders in their own neighborhood. Innocent residents found themselves held captive in their own home.
So last night he used him.
Honestly, nothing better than when a guy
The hell?
homes, with a lingering fear of violence looming over the estate, as evidenced by an alarming 80% according to a police survey. Despite the daunting circumstances, the residents displayed remarkable courage and resilience. They refused to be cowed by the challenges and instead bravely reported gang activities to law enforcement. Many successful raids carried out under Operation Spool, aimed at curbing illicit activities in the estate, were made possible by community intelligence. It's a great story of the power of resilience and responsible citizenship in the face of adversity, isn't it? Imagine being at the helm of a criminal empire, shrouded in an aura of mystery and power. That's exactly where the G Group found themselves, with a remarkable edge that allowed their enterprise to thrive unchecked. You see, authorities at the time presumed that the Gs were a mere facade for a more organized and formidable criminal syndicate. And the Gs? Well, they reveled in this notoriety, basking in the notoriety while their empire flourished. But as with any underworld operation, rivalries inevitably emerged. These clashes escalated into a decade-long saga of violence and turmoil, casting a dark cloud over the once peaceful estate. Before we delve into these harrowing events, let's take a moment to explore the enigmatic special unit tasked with restoring order to the chaos. This unit, dubbed the Rogue Police Unit for its controversial methods, spared no expense in their pursuit of justice. Their relentless tactics, although effective, drew criticism from locals who felt the heavy hand of authority. Yet, in the eyes of the unit's officers, they were fighting fire with fire, believing themselves to be doing the Lord's work. As tensions escalated between law enforcement and criminals, the streets became battlegrounds for control. High-profile raids became a regular occurrence. One raid resulted in a suspect's broken arm, prompting senior officers to reassess their approach. Despite the controversy, the unit's old-school policing tactics yielded results. Over 9 months, they executed a staggering 450 arrests, including 50 for supplying Class A narcotics. Millions in cash and narcotics were seized, along with counterfeit goods and weapons destined for the brewing gang war. These relentless operations dealt a crippling blow to the G's profits, plummeting from £20,000 to a mere £3,000 per week. However, the unit's indiscriminate targeting of individuals unrelated to the criminal activities of the estate raised ethical questions. So, here's the question for you. Is achieving a noble end justified by any means necessary? Or should we remain vigilant in ensuring that the means align with our moral compass? Now that we have briefly delved into the activities of the independent unit, let's first take a look at the events that led to a violent gang feud, causing multiple deaths, explosions, and shooting incidents.
Jeez, boy.
Unraveling the beginning. How did the feud shake the estate?
He just still didn't say where they was at, like where they was at and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, are they in England? Like, where are these niggas at?
What ignited the flames of conflict? The landscape of Grizzale Estate was engulfed in turmoil as a gang war erupted, fueled by long-standing animosity between the G brothers and a rival crime group from Kirkdale. This bitter rivalry escalated into a series of violent clashes, escalating tensions to a boiling point. In 2003, the simmering feud reached a critical juncture with a string of violent incidents, including bomb attacks that, fortunately, resulted in no loss of life.
Ain't no way.
However, the peace was short-lived. The Royal Oak Pub became the site of tragedy in January 2004, with a double shooting claiming the life of 19-year-old Danny McDonald and leaving another man
so this is England.
Life.
I remember this pub.
The situation took a devastating turn on April 6, 2004, when Darren G and his companions, returning from a funeral, fell victim to a hail of bullets. Tragically, Craig Barker lost his life in the attack, caught in the crossfire of an assassination attempt.
No
The
way.
attack was orchestrated by SAS-trained hitman Darren Waterhouse at the behest of local narcotic boss William Moore, who was the rival of the Gs. As chaos unfolded, it became clear that Waterhouse's intended target was Darren G, who had fortuitously switched places with his friend Barker. The incident left an innocent man dead, and Darren grappling with the trauma of witnessing his best friend's death as a result of mistaken identity. As for Waterhouse, his military accolades were tarnished by a criminal past. Having escaped prison prior to the assassination attempt,
What?
he had previously been convicted for
How the fuck did he escape prison? How the fuck does that happen? The hell?
Smuggling cocaine from Brazil, serving a sentence of 6 years and 9 months. It was during this incarceration that he crossed paths with William Moore, who was serving time for narcotics dealing. Confident in his ability to evade detection, Waterhouse brazenly used his personal mobile phone to coordinate the attack with Moore.
How the fuck? You know what?
Despite fervent protests of innocence, both he and Moore were ultimately sentenced to life in prison, with a 30-year minimum term for their involvement in the assassination attempt. While justice prevailed, the aftermath of the incident left Darren G. consumed by grief, fury, and an unwavering desire for revenge. In a state of emotional turmoil, Darren tragically misidentified David Reagan as the perpetrator of the car attack, leading to Reagan's untimely demise just a month later on May 18, 2004. Realizing his grave error too late, Darren was arrested and admitted his involvement in the crime. Facing the prospect of spending the rest of his life behind bars, he braced himself for a lengthy sentence. However, the judge's decision to apply sentencing guidelines from the old law era granted Darren an unexpected second chance at life. In 2000,
have you heard about Patriot Software's accounting and payroll?
He used...
We're not hard to find.
That's crazy.
2006, having only one charge of violence on his criminal record, the judge gave him a sentence of 18 years rather than a life sentence. From kingpin to inmate, what's in store for Darren G? Has the allure of a life of crime ever proven too formidable to resist? For Darren, prison initially failed to steer him away from illicit activities. Despite his confinement in HM Prison Woodhill, often likened to Britain's Alcatraz for housing the country's most dangerous offenders, Darren found himself embroiled in further wrongdoing, including engaging in inappropriate relations with a nurse in 2009.
Oh, wow.
Caught in the act, Darren's actions not only stained his own reputation, but also led to the dismissal.
My man was in there getting some cheeks, boy. Stop playing, boy. He was trying to get him some. Okay.
Engaging in inappropriate relations with a nurse in 2009.
He was getting him some.
Darren's actions not only stained his own reputation, but also led to the dismissal of the nurse, Jane Jackson, from her position. Her claims that she acted this way under pressure were dismissed, and she was swiftly removed from her role.
Damn.
That's
was
because
like,
it was a more than once occurrence, and her story of the incident didn't pan out. However, it wasn't until after serving his time that Darren emerged from prison with a newfound perspective. Faced with the weight of guilt over the deaths of Mr. Regan and his innocent friend Craig, Darren experienced a profound change of heart. He openly acknowledged his remorse in various media interviews, reflecting on the consequences of his past actions and the toll they had taken on those around him. He said that he tried to reach out to the families of people affected with his actions, seeking forgiveness. However, not everyone was ready to forgive and forget. He was cognizant of this, as he said in a Channel 5 documentary, "I've lived with that right through the last 10 years and am filled with guilt. But I can't mend it with his family, because it's gone too far. You can't call a truce once there's a fatality."
Yeah,
the Regan family responded to the documentary by issuing a statement to Liverpool Echo. It stated, "There was a long and complicated court process which led up to the conviction of Darren G. We were subject to threats and intimidation throughout the trial. The Regan family has struggled to forgive Darren G for the role he played in organizing David's cold-blooded elimination. But we do not want or seek revenge. Our message is that the Regan family wishes to be left alone, and left alone by Darren G. He will know what we mean by that. He is active on social media and often posts content which we object to. He appears to hold a grudge of sorts against our family, and we objected to seeing him boasting about chopping heads off on television. Surely this was not necessary." While some individuals succumb to the shadows of the underworld without a second thought, others grapple with the weight of guilt for their deeds. Will Darren's burden of guilt propel him towards redemption, or will it plunge him deeper into darkness? Hoodlum to activist, can redemption rewrite his story? After nearly 2 decades behind bars, what lies ahead for Darren G in a world vastly different from the one he left behind? Adapting to the new world without any support was an uphill task for him. Overwhelmed by anger and depression, he found himself contemplating taking his own life. However, a powerful message from the Choose a Life, Not a Knife campaign resonated deeply with him. inspiring a profound shift in perspective. Determined to turn his life around and make a positive impact, Darren dedicated himself to advocating against knife crime, a commitment that continues to this day. As part of his anti-knife activism, Darren shared a poignant video message 2 years ago as part of a campaign which remains a testament to his journey of redemption.
That's how you do it though, man. Real shit. That's how you do it. You want to make a change, you gotta do some shit like this. You know what I'm saying? As far as like rappers, like, yeah, bro. Rap, that's why I be saying stay in the studio, bro. Real shit. I know it'd be, you know, it's funny, laughy joke, you know what I mean? And, you know, I bring the entertainment to y'all because, you know, that's what I, you know, just what I genuinely just do. But I'm genuinely telling these folk, like, yo, like, yeah, stay in that studio, man. Like, please stay in the studio, bro. The more times you're in that studio, you're not riding, you're not chinging, you're not blicking. You know what I mean? On some real shit, though, bro. You gotta do stuff like this, man. It's a way, bro.
A life,
it's
not a knife,
way,
UK.
Bro.
It's a message
Jesus
that's
Christ
raising awareness. It stems from an attempt of suicide by myself. That's when it came into my life 5 years ago. I've grabbed hold of it. It's made such importance in my life. Since then, it's followed on. It's gone into different subjects within communities, likes of grooming, likes of bullying, drug dealing. All these pitfalls that the youth find themselves facing on a regular basis.
This is a compelling reminder of the transformative power of second chances. It illustrates how, when confronted with the opportunity for redemption, some individuals earnestly endeavor to reshape their lives. Despite the daunting challenges posed by incarceration, only a select few seize this pivotal moment as a catalyst for positive change. Driven by a vow to prevent others from repeating his mistakes, Darren's path to redemption was not without its challenges. Returning to Everton after his release, he faced hostility and life-threatening threats from young gangsters who sought to establish their notoriety by targeting him. Despite surviving an attempt on his life, Darren chose not to seek revenge, a testament to his transformed character. Moreover, his relationships with his brothers and family underwent significant changes. While speaking to Liverpool Echo in 2019, Darren revealed that only one of his brothers, Ian, had been released from prison and was still recovering from injuries sustained in 2004.
Damn.
However, strained relations with his past acquaintances, including Ian, have left Darren isolated from his former life. He said in a video himself,
I haven't got no brothers, mates. Sacrifice them like they sacrificed me. What my brothers done was should have stood on with me when I got out of prison. They should have stood next to me. They should have remained loyal to me. But because they were still caught up in that criminal network, they decided to stand aside while I was being targeted by them. To me, out my life, don't ever contact me. Don't ever come near me again. And that's the...
He felt betrayed. He felt betrayed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Is my swatcher showing? Yes. Okay.
That's the way I am right now, lad. I don't speak to absolutely
that was
no
a real
one
commercial. What
in the G
fuck?
family.
That was wild.
I've got my own little family. And that's some of the things you've got to do. I've just done an 18-year prison sentence to get out of custody, and I've got my brother trying to get me on board with some of the, you know...
Troubled. But before we delve into this story, let me tell you first about the campaign that Darren G joined. The Ben Kinsella Trust tackles knife crime through education and campaigning. It educates young people on the dangers of knife crimes and helps them make positive choices in life to stay safe. The Trust works in collaboration with the government, businesses, and society to ensure everyone takes responsibility. A barrage of expletives aimed at the podcast host, accusing him of exploiting his former criminal status to gain subscribers. In particular, Darren expressed discomfort with the presence of Marvin Herbert, known as the One-Eyed Gangster, on the podcast. Herbert's association with Daniel Kinahan's MGM Gym in Spain.
This nigga was a part of the Kinahans too? Everybody is connected to the Kinahans. What the fuck?
Red flags for
Yo,
Darren,
that's
who
crazy.
harbored strong disdain
Fucking
for the Kinahan
Kinahans
crime
is
syndicate.
everywhere, boy.
According to him, the Irish were responsible for numerous shootings in Liverpool, including an attempt on his own life. According to Darren, Herbert's appearance on the podcast was indicative of a larger scheme orchestrated by the Kinahans to infiltrate popular media platforms. He saw this as an attempt to legitimize their criminal enterprise and expand their influence beyond the underworld. This incident sheds light on the complex dynamics of social media influence and the responsibilities that come with it. While Darren's online presence garnered millions of followers eager for insights into his past experiences, it also exposed him to public scrutiny and conflicts that he may not have anticipated. As he navigates the intersection of his newfound fame and his tumultuous past, Darren's actions and words carry weight in shaping public perception.
Yeah, bro, I be feeling like it's nothing wrong with like, you know, you in that life, you was like a OG kingpin on the block, you know what I'm saying? You sold all these drugs, you know what I mean? And now you out the life, and now you in a position to where, like, you got locked up, you done the time for the crime, so you can talk about this shit now. It's not like it's an open case or anything like that, you know what I mean? Like, that's fine to, like, tell your stories, tell people to, you know, use me as an example, not to end up like how I did, but I was able to get a second chance type shit. And also show people that there is a second chance type shit. You feel me? So it's like, I don't be getting the scrutiny with that. You should want to see people improve and want to be better for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, I understand and I get that this guy right here may have taken away your son, may have chinged up your nephew, or whatever the case may be, bruh. So for you guys, that might be a little hard. I get that part. But, like, on the outside looking in, it's like, nah, you should want to see him improve. You should want to see him, you know, give his life to God, give his life to Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, bro, it's nice to see that. But as for the family's sake, yeah, I don't know. I get that part, not wanting to forgive.
Surrounding crime
some
and
people
justice.
are strong enough, you know
Coming
what I'm saying,
back to the
do that.
story, Darren opened up a foul-mouthed tirade and threatened English as well. He's a rat. I classed him as a friend for a very long time. James knows quite well I will drive to Glasgow at the weekend, meet him and tell him to his face he's a
Hey, yo.
He went on with a threat. I'll batter you with your medicine ball. I'll destroy you with your medicine ball.
Hey, yo.
This kind of language didn't sit well with the Ben Kinsella Trust. The charity removed Darren G., stating in a message to the ex-hood, they also said that they would close his supporter page on Just Giving and return the donations.
Wow.
While we hugely value and appreciate your efforts to fundraise for us, we are concerned that our association with you could be seen as an endorsement of using inappropriate language in a public forum.
Damn.
The provocative, offensive, and derogatory language you chose to use is contrary to our
Oh shit, my fault.
decision, saying, my together with the negative publicity, we are concerned our reputation may be damaged as a result of our association. G accepted the decision, saying, my mouth lands me in trouble. Darren remains active on social media today with his own YouTube channel. According to him, he is still keeping away from that life, but people from that world are trying to pull him back in.
Right.
This scenario serves as
Don't
another
fall back
scathing
in, bro.
illustration that the underworld rarely releases its grip once it has ensnared someone. Even those who have successfully exited find themselves relentlessly pursued, illustrating the persistent allure of criminal life. It underscores the harsh reality that choices made in the past, especially those involving violence and illegal activities, carry enduring repercussions.
Nah, that's a big facts, bro. Hey, that's really it about the documentary, man. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to tap them links down below in the description, man. We got a lot more content coming out soon. Be sure to get all these gang war videos. Everything that y'all need, you know what I'm saying, is always down there, man. All right. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Love and support that's coming in right now. So thank y'all for that. And yeah, until next time.